We are live on YouTube and Facebook. We want to first start by saying, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. We thank Him for making His divine intervention in our affairs in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise I forever do. And we thank Him for raising up His messenger Messiah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I'm forever thankful, forever grateful, and would be remiss in our duty if we did not thank Allah for the man whom He used to help inspire and bring life to so many, and who continues to give guidance and wisdom and an example of a true brother. I speak of none other than our beloved, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is with their names that I greet you, our dear brothers, here on our program tonight with the greeting words of peace. We said in the Arabic language, the language of our forefathers, of Salam Alaikum, English simply meaning peace be unto you. We like to welcome you all to another edition of We Must First Be Brothers. Again, we must first be brothers. A beautiful instruction given to us from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Today, the core of what we want to talk about, coming off of a wonderful, wonderful event in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, hosted by our illustrious brother Louis Ali and the wonderful A-Team and Grow Dirt, Throw That Dirt, all of the wonderful, wonderful events just simultaneously unfolding. We thank our brother for allowing himself to be used and to be a vehicle for the spirit and the grace of Allah. It takes the heart of a brother to create the proper environment, the heart of a good brother to create the proper environment where we could come and convene and share brotherhood in the way that we were able to share and learn and watch the children be taught, and so many other things that we'll discuss tonight as we go further. But I just wanted to start right off the block with gratitude and thankfulness to our brother for being such an excellent host, providing a place for us to lay our heads, just the whole investment. Also want to give a big, big shout out to Brother Jay, who also came and brought his gifts, his talents, his equipment, his resources.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Brother Jay.
Come on now. Came on his own dime to show he's committed to helping in what we're striving to do in building a real brotherhood.
That's
building,
right.
making our community safe and decent places to live. The footage that I've seen so far is stellar. We're so blessed to have such successful and talented brothers in our midst. Want to give a big shout out to our brother J19, who carried us in the chariot and made sure we got there safely.
That's right.
Brothers traveling with him, my nephew, his nephew. We're
That's
really
right.
for all of these experiences that led up to such a magnanimous and beautiful moment where we made our word our bond. And as a result of making our word our bond, we experience the spirit of Allah. We experience life. We experienced energy. And for those of you who are tuning in, you will feel that throughout the course of our discussion tonight, because we experienced something so powerful and so dynamic that it has really added energy, divine energy and power and desire to do even greater works. We know that we have a great assignment ahead of us, and we must first be brothers along with all of our brothers who are doing wonderful things, making Baton Rouge, uptown Baton Rouge great again. We have to commit to building and strengthening our communities block by house by house, block by block, community by community, state by state, all the way across this country and eventually the world. So we are grateful tonight. I'm not going to be long tonight because I really wanted to just kind of open up the discussion just a little bit. Tonight we're talking about in the core, the God within. That's the theme of our discussion tonight as we talk about building communities and making our communities safe and decent places to live. And why is that's so important? It's important because one of the things that I recognized and I experienced, I was able to sit and study my brothers. And in studying my brothers, I was able to see the very unique gifts and talents that Almighty God has deposited in each one of our brothers. It's something very special about this moment and these moments when you work together with your brother and you experience and witness their brilliance, such as what we experienced with Brother Lewis and what we experienced with Brother Jay and Brother Elijah and Brother John and all of the other brothers, Pastor Domain and the youth that were there, the A team, and everybody who made a contribution to our effort. It was such a beautiful moment. But to sit and to have an observer's eye and to witness God coming through our brothers, our sisters, those who were participating is what this is really all about. It is the beauty and the majesty of Almighty God. And you know, when you think about it, Brother Lewis, it's the we and the us that is spoken of in the Holy Quran when Allah allows us to participate in the process of the creation and the making of things that he has created in his creation. He allows us to be a part of the we and the us. So just think about what we experienced in expressing from our different points of views the gifts and the talents that we possess. That's why we're talking as a backdrop, as a theme to this conversation, and we want to keep it as we lift different points and talk. We want to keep that at the core, the God within, as we acknowledging the greatness that's in each and every one of our brothers. The Holy Quran says, and help one another in righteousness and piety. Then it goes on to say, when you discover, and this is something that's important, when you discover the God-given gifts and talents in your brother, you shouldn't be threatened. No, you shouldn't feel the need to compete. This is some of the things that I observed as we open tonight and just lay a small foundation. A beautiful one was laid there in Baton Rouge on many, many levels. Beautiful, not just the pouring of concrete in that sense, but the connecting bonds that were made in brotherhood. That foundation was laid this past week, and we are excited about that foundation that was laid as brothers because we know we got a power in us to totally make a difference in the world in which we live. But you shouldn't be in a spirit of competition. We should be in the spirit of joy and love and support. We shouldn't hide the gifts and the talents of our brothers. Notice how I'm pointing out what I saw in my brother with no hold back. I got to lift up the God within my brother. I got to help you if you don't see the God in my brothers. That's my duty. We should promote that greatness that we see in our brothers. That's what real brotherhood is about. That's what this past weekend showed us. It showed us something very beautiful and majestic in looking at one another. That's why it's so important for brothers to work together, to get in proximity and build something. You know, you should become, brothers, as we move forward, you should help your brother to become the best version of himself, the best expression of himself. The Bible says, as every man has received the gift, even so minister same one to another. Every man has a gift, but even so minister the same one to another. 1 Peter 4:10. We don't have to be competitive today. And I'm saying this for our general public listeners, so we can understand how important it is for us to work together. We understood the assignment. We came and we received the assignment, we understood the assignment, and we executed the assignment over this past event. And we're so grateful and blessed to have had that experience. When we have a win, it is a shared win. We need to have victories. And you know, I was going to say this a little earlier before we even get into competing even with each other. And there's a such thing as called righteous competition. But before we get there, we need to have more wins in a unified way. We're not healthy enough yet. You know, we got to get healthy enough to have even righteous competition amongst each other. Let's have some victories together first. This past foundation pouring event with Grow Dirt, We Must First Be Brothers, that took place in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was a victory, a unified victory. Again, I have to thank our brother Louis Ali for having the foundation and already having boots on the ground and working so hard. It was fertile. It was ready. The soil was ready. Hey, it was pregnant. It was ready for the seminal fluid to enter. All we had to do was walk in. And when we walked in, we saw the impregnation. She was with child, brothers. She was with child. She was ready to give birth. We saw that take place in a very beautiful way. Everywhere we went, the timing was right. Allah guided us. He blessed the weather to be right. Everywhere we went, in the barbershop, he blessed that to be right. Everything that we did, he showed us that he was with us, and he showed us what and why it's so important for us to work together. Just shared success, victories, shared victories. So the Quran says again, and hold fast all together by the rope of Allah and be not divided. This moment we shared revealed our greatest potential. It's just the tip of the iceberg, brothers, but it showed our potential and what we will do even greater than this moment. But we stop and we pause and we show gratitude for the moment. We show gratitude for every brother that participated, every brother that even said a word. We're grateful for what you have contributed to making such a wonderful event. So I want to open the floor up to our dear brother Louis, and then we want to go to J19, since we want to come right off these lines, and then we want to go to Jay, and we want to go to Elijah, just in that order, and share your thoughts of this moment. Again, brothers, welcome to We Must First Be Brothers. For all of our other brothers that are tuning in, we are very happy and excited to have you on, and we're pushing and holding this line as we move forward, brothers. Brother Louis.
Brother Michael, beautiful introduction. What a special group of brothers you all are. Every one of you. It's like we're becoming a team, Brother Jay. Yes. Every one of us is a winner. And every one of us played a significant role and made a significant sacrifice to come into Baton Rouge, where the minister did a lecture called Baton Rouge, a Sign of Things to Come. I hope we all go back and watch that lecture. He raised the question, how strong is the foundation? Can we survive? And I can tell you, if we keep our brotherhood tight, like we had our brotherhood tight, God is going to bless us not only to survive, but to thrive. If you notice, all of the work that I'm involved with by God's grace has something to do with dirt. Grow dirt. All right. And we have a motto in our teaching garden in mantra. It says that if it don't come out the dirt, it ain't food. My sons have been saying that since they were little bitty boys. And what it does is keeps us humble, Brother Mike. Yes. And that's what it takes for us to work together and play our very significant yet insignificant roles. That dirt keeps me humble. It lets me know how insignificant I am, even though I'm doing something that's significant in the moment. Laying a foundation, training these young people. See, we're just passing through, and we had a lot of young people. The day went so well, but one of my highlights was when a young brother that was these 9 or 10 years old and he went and got one of the come-alongs and he jumped. He didn't have no fear, no fear. He got right in the mud, in the cement. And so I asked him, I said, well, what is your name? And he said, my name is Messiah. He looked me straight in the face and said, my name is Messiah. It was like, whoa, because the Messiah's work is to build a universal brotherhood. A brotherhood is what we need, you know? And just seeing all of the brothers there, watching all the young people so eager and so ambitious about learning, having everyone from a medical doctor to just common laborers, but everybody there seemed to want to be a brother, you know? I'm still on a high from it, actually, brother Michael. And I was so happy
Me too.
to meet the good brother Jay, but it didn't feel like
Yes.
I was just meeting him. First, he doesn't have that kind of energy. It felt like I was meeting. I had a cousin or a family member, and y'all weren't here on Sunday, but you're gonna be here some Sundays. You'll see we still have Sunday dinners down here, Jay. And you're already invited, okay? And all of y'all are. So we have an opportunity here to make our own community a safe and decent place to live. I'm not going to ramble, but I am going to say this. I received all sorts of political calls. I received calls from the State House, and they were just happy to see that we had young people engaged like that. The A team loved it. They had their own meeting while we were having a hot black coffee meeting. They were having another meeting, and they are starting to see the vision even more. There's a lot of great opportunities around the country, but there are a lot of great opportunities for us to do some major stuff in Baton Rouge. And I'm already planning our next meeting, brothers. So I'm going to just stop right there, Brother Michael.
Go right ahead, Brother John. I don't hear you. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that, bro. People asking me about the show tonight. I'm sorry. I'm telling them to come in. They asking me about the show. Yeah. So yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
I just want to thank everyone, bro. Say peace, family. Welcome to We Must First Be Brothers tonight. And I'm on the high myself. You know, like Mike said, I mean, we were in the heat of the day. And it was like it was not even hot. I mean, God blessed us. He gave us a forecast. I mean, he put the wind on us, and he made it a little cloudy, blocked that sun to make last week in Baton Rouge. When we poured concrete, we literally did a pour. You had young brothers from ages 10 to 20 standing side by side with the elders at the Grow Dirt teaching garden that Lewis and his family put together. Oh, let me stop. I'd be remiss if I don't thank Sister Stephanie for giving us that beautiful Airbnb that I mean, you couldn't have had better. I thought I was at the Ritz-Carlton, so I don't care what nobody said. The accommodations was grand. She made me feel like a king. Had that big old king size bed in there, and man, man, please. Lewis, make sure she continue to do the stuff. I trust Stephanie on where we're gonna stay at. I trust you in the dirt. I trust Stephanie to make the reservations. Anyway, we had parents registered, the children online. They came there with rubber boots, gloves, eye protection, and the parents even stayed, helped, and they watched it. We mixed, we poured, we finished. The children planted tomatoes, cucumbers, snap beans. Mr. B showed them everything. Then, above all, we opened up in prayer, Psalm 127.
That's right.
Lewis recited and had everyone recite the Optimus Creed. We ate together, we talked. And you know what? Something real happened.
That's right.
What Brother Mike saying, that principle 13, we learn and know the value of our brothers now. Why? Because you cannot know a man value or men value by just watching them talk. You know it when you see someone get up and 5:30 in the morning and the concrete is heavy, and when the sun is already rising, and he still stayed until the job is done. We didn't have anybody tap out this time, Lewis. Lewis will make you tap in that with their concrete and their wire and that heat. I done seen them make people tap. So you know it when you see a 12-year-old holding a shovel next to a 55-year-old man, 60-year-old man, 27-year-old man, and you know it when older brothers coach younger brothers, listen to them, show them how to work, and let the brothers ask them questions. This is the value of a brother. Not titles, not talk, not likes, work being done together.
That's right.
Jay up there showing people we all work together. So in this hour, when systems are shifting and communities are still fragile, the only way to rebuild is by learning the real value of the man next to us. Through shared labor, shared correction, shared purpose. We must first be brothers is not a slogan, brothers. I want y'all to hear this again. We must first be brothers. To the listening audience, we must first be brothers is not a slogan. It is a daily practice.
That's right.
Tonight we're going to talk about what we saw in Baton Rouge and what it means for every one of us going forward. Because if we don't understand the principle number 13, and boys as young as 12 years old showing up registering, and elders stand to coach, plant, teach, and train, and then the shared labor created the only kind of unity that lasts. So the shift to do for self is not theory, brothers. It's here. The torch has been lit. To say the wick has been lit in Baton Rouge. And like you said, Baton Rouge, the vision, what was that, brother?
A sign of things to
sign
come.
of things to come.
That was the minister.
We must first be brothers, shine the light on it, along with grow dirt.
That's right.
Brother Jay, what's up, Brother Jay? It was such an honor, but at this point, I almost forgot we just met there in Baton Rouge. The brotherhood has been cemented so well. It's like I've been knowing you forever, brother. And your spirit, your heart, your diligence,
right.
your wisdom, the things that brother was dropping, especially at the church, brother, was phenomenal. Everywhere though. That's just a part of who you are. Praise be to Allah. But brother, your contribution was phenomenal. It was such a blessing. And it's being that we in photography, videography, people don't understand the kind of work it requires to pick up all your equipment and travel across the country. You know what I'm saying? On your own dime. Real talk. Brother, that I keep lifting it up, not because of the monetary, but the heart that drove it. That's what was the most important thing and significant thing. But it was such a pleasure meeting my brother. Now it's like I said, it's like I don't know anything but Brother Jay. So Brother Jay, go ahead, brother. Let us hear your experience and your perspective. We definitely want to hear from you.
I'm honored, brothers. I really appreciate you all.
Appreciate you, bro.
Ava Muhammad said that, oftentimes the minister would think 5 times before he spoke, to be very, very mindful of what was spoken, because once you speak, it gives off a certain vibratory energy. And I closed as soon as I got off the plane, because I was thinking that whole flight on why. 2 things about me. Number 1, I don't do heat. I do not do heat. You saw me walking around
You did good, Jay.
But you didn't tap, Brother Jay. You didn't
You ain't
tap.
tap, Jay. You ain't tap.
Well, you gotta ask yourself, like I ask myself, why? On a serious note, why? Why is the energy so high? Why? Because I know, like I said, I'm out. One thing about me, I don't do anything I don't want to do. That's a blessing to not have to do anything I don't. And it was an honor to be out there. It was truly an honor, which is why I didn't tap out because the heat didn't get to me and it was humid, and I was moving around, heavy equipment, all that stuff. So, but that's that higher power. I knew I was out there for a reason, for a cause. And I saw the vision. I see the vision. I'm living the vision. It's a blessing to be a contributing factor because oftentimes we often talk about what we need to do in the community, what we should do. We're doing it. That's what's so significant and meaningful and important to me. I don't like to sit around and have hypothetical conversations. It's pointless. Like I always say, after a while, the conversation has to turn into demonstration. We demonstrate it. We'll show you guys a few things, but we're not going to show you everything. You gotta invest in yourself. You gotta invest your time to be here. You gotta maybe even invest some money to get down there. But we're not going to show you. We're not going to tell you everything. Every brother here has value. Every brother. Show your value. It's really that simple. It's not up for debate. It's not an extra conversation that needs to be had. You can go down the YouTube History channel on my brother Michael's Facebook, listen to the playback, and invest in yourself. Invest your time. If you have nothing else, you have time. If you don't have money, you got time. Invest your time.
That's right.
Show your value. Show that this is of something of significant meaning and purpose to you. And if it's not, that's fine too.
Right.
But again, it's not some type of word play or a certain type of words that can make you feel a certain type, because that's all temporary. You're still on a high because we get it. You know what I mean? Like we get it, and we're contributing in our own ways. So I'll show some of this footage later, but that's all I wanted to say for now. But the last thing I'll say, centered around the topic of this conversation tonight, and I want to leave with all the brothers and any sisters that may be listening is why? In any and everything that you do and think, just ask yourself why. And it says here, the word why means for what cause, reason, or purpose. It is used to ask why something happened, why someone did an action, or to explain the reason behind an event. So again, I'll briefly touch on, some of the call that I had with the brothers after I got off here last week off the plane. And I said, knowing this and the information is out there, why don't some people take action? And it's kind of like delayed life syndrome that I touched on a few weeks ago, where oftentimes we're waiting on this perfect moment, where, oh yeah, well, once I retire or once I save this certain amount of money, I'll do this and do that. And Brother John has told me and often preaches to me, but the illusion of time. We think that, we always have tomorrow, or that's none of that guaranteed, man.
That's right.
I could sit around and go to people's funerals and say, dang, they died so young. And, man, we really got to do this and do that. And then you go back to your same habits. The time is now. Ain't no more playing around. None of this, oh, yeah, man, that make me feel good. And then when you get off, you go back to your habits. The time is now. And you need to ask yourself why you are the way you are. Why do you do the things you say you're tired of doing? And why you aren't where you want to be? And I was told once that you aren't where you want to be because you're not who you need to be. And it's as simple as that.
That's simple.
Facts.
That's simple. Powerful, Brother Jay. Absolutely powerful, brother. And a great kickoff on this journey that we on, brothers, because, you know, there's so many layers to pull back on this discussion. And that why question is powerful. That's the question that should drive us all in some regard or another. One, why am I here? That's a starting point, because we're certainly not here to do nothing. We're certainly not here to be puppeteers for somebody else's world. We're certainly not here to allow our children to grow up and continue the cycle of abuse that many of our forefathers and many of us have even experienced. We're not here for that. Our why has to evolve. We have to be able to ask the question, answer that question. And I'm, in my humble view, on many, many fronts, Brother Jay. It's a very, very important question, you know, that we were asked even in our lessons, in our supreme wisdom lessons. That question was one of that word why was the lead into many of the questions that we were given. You see, so it's very important, and it's important for our community to understand that. Nephew, go right ahead.
Yes, sir. Something that just came to my mind is that it honestly, I'm seeing it as this was a very divine interaction coming from my own point of view, because as I said recently, that I just decided to come to Houston a couple of weeks ago, just, you know, kind of like hopped out of my bed like a thief in the night and just said, you know what, I'm about to hop on a mission. And I came to Houston, and so happily this trip aligned perfectly, you know, at the point of me coming not too far after I came to Houston. And it's just amazing how everything worked out, you know, for me to even get involved, because I was still back in Iowa, so there's no telling, you know, how I would have made the trip from there. Not saying I wouldn't have made it, but just for me to come to Houston, and then for us to, a couple of weeks later after I moved to Houston, for us to be able to just drive down there and make the trip that easy, that just shows me that I was supposed to go and see that, you know. And I'm a visual type of guy. I like to see things in person up front, and get the full visual of it, because for me personally, seeing things is it impregnates my mind, you know. So when I get to see it, I don't have to see it too many times. Like, I can see it one time and I can carry that with me and pull energy just from seeing something one time. So being able to go on this trip, you know, just tying the topic in, I was able to see everybody in their God body form, from Brother Lewis orchestrating their entire, you know, the entire construction site, you know, throw that dirt, you know, him just orchestrating every single little thing. And a small joke that I heard him make, to one of the A team, one of the A team members. He said, "Hey, bro, how old are you?" And the A team member said his age, and he said, "Yeah, man, we've been throwing dirt longer than you've been alive." And I'm thinking like, wow, okay, so this ain't nothing new. This okay. He ain't just start doing this. Okay, Brother Lewis been doing this for a little while. So okay, I'm like, okay, this is a reality. And I didn't know what to think before I met everybody in person. So I seen Brother Lewis and his God body, and, you know, him orchestrating the whole A team. And then I'm asking the A team, okay, how old are y'all? How old are y'all? How long y'all been doing this for? Man, I've been here since I became conscious. And I'm like, wow, so they 10 years, 12 years in, you know, doing this type of work. And, you know, most of them are only around 17 to 18 years old. So I'm like, man, okay, they really got a heavy knowledge of this. And then, you know, most of them are in school, you know, for that type of stuff. So it's a real reality for them, an everyday thing, you know, as far as I've seen. And then Brother Jay, just with the gadgets, the media gadgets, like, he showed me a whole different side of, like, you know, being in media. Like, he was super on point. You know, when we pulled up to every location I seen, he know exactly how long it would take him to get ready. And he wasn't playing no games. Like when it came time to set up, he's setting up, he locked in, he looking at angles. I was watching, he looking at angles. Okay, you know, this right. Okay, I'm moving, you know, just setting up everything perfectly. And he even allowed me to aid him, you know, so he was teaching me. I was being taught by Brother Jay. So he a master with the gadgets when it comes to media. So it just, and being somebody that's fresh into media, it gave me somebody that I can learn from. I got Brother Jay's personal number now, and he said to call him and text him anytime. And we've been texting, you know, ever since we left. So I was able to see him and his God body in that form. Brother John, this was the most time that I had spent with Brother John in person. I had met Brother John in person some years ago, but this was the first time I actually spent some time and days with him to actually get to know him on a deeper level, and just to know his militant mindset. It started off from us joking about basketball, but then it got a little bit deeper, and, you know, just him telling me his life story, just his militant mind and